Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Srinivas, and I work for Altokk Software Solutions. I'm here today to with another session of Each One Teach One, which we lovingly call as EOTO. As we all know, there are very few things which increase by sharing. Those are happiness and knowledge. Thanks to Roshan for giving this opportunity to increase our knowledge by sharing our knowledge. Uh, Coming to the session, each one teach one. What are we here to discuss today? It's a session about a concept called action plan and templates, which is a part of the each one teach one session. Action plan and templates. That's a part of the Financial Services Cloud. But I can start off to say that it's not only a part of the Financial Services Cloud, but there are a few other clouds as well where this concept is available. Okay. A small trivia. Welcome to the finance department where everybody counts. Counting in the sense not money, but everybody is important in the financial department. So is this session for me? In a generic term, yes, it is because it is available. The action plan and templates are available in a few other clouds as well, not only to the financial services cloud. But if you look at it in one way, it's an important concept in the financial services cloud because as a wealth manager or a financial advisor, it becomes a very important aspect for us to have knowledge on this part. Let's look at the agenda. Uh, we'll do a quick recap of the financial services cloud intro. Then we'll talk about the action plan and templates in which is available in the wealth management console. What's the difference between the action plan template and an action plan? There will be a discussion in terms of a scenario where we will create an action plan, we will create a template, we'll create tasks, and how this is going to show up on an object. And then we'll have a Kahoot session, the game time. So a small trivia again, great things are done by a series of small things brought together. Just to explain, small steps will help you to walk a kilometer. So you just don't start off by jumping a one full kilometer, right? You will take small steps. So in the same manner, there are few action plans that get set up, which will help you to reach a goal along with the customer. So whoever don't have an idea who's Vincent van Gogh, he is actually a painter, and he had about close to about 3,000 paintings in his lifetime, but he had sold only one painting in his whole lifetime. But yes, he's created quite a bit of an impact in the era of the World War One. So, what is an action plan? Why is it used? Action plans are repeatable steps which are set up as a checklist, or should I say, a task for an individual to start updating information. So if we look at this, action plans allow you to capture repeatable tasks, then automate the task sequences, improving collaboration and productivity. So you are able to set up repeatable tasks or actions into templates, assign them automatically to your process to ensure nothing gets missed. It will help to create consistent customer experience with configurable task templates. Why an action plan should be used? It is to increase productivity by automatically assigning tasks with due dates. You can create action plans and action templates for various standard objects and also for custom objects where activities are enabled on it. So a question will arise. What is a template? What is an action plan? What is an action plan template and what is an action plan? In a template, we capture repeatable tasks involved in a specific type of engagement. For example, here I've written as a financial plan annual review meeting. But let's say if you're walking into a bank as a customer, you want to apply for a personal loan. Now, the personal banker who's available at the desk doesn't need to think about what he has to ask, what type of questions he has to ask, what are the documentations required. He wouldn't have to think about it. If a template is already there, if it's for a personal loan, he will just open that template. He would know what is the exact documentation required, what he has to advise to the customer, and what steps to be taken. Now, that template is already available. He will create an action plan for himself with due dates so that he doesn't miss out, because he is not going to talk about with only one customer in a day. He would have quite a few number of visitors on a daily basis. So he would create an action plan for each customer. All these action plans get assigned to each individual as per the expertise. So here, as an example, if you see, a wealth manager has to set up a meeting with the client, collect all the financial documents required, review those documents. An action plan is set up once and we update it as our understanding of the repeatable task refines over time. So when you become good at it, there is a possibility the template will change. You add tasks into the template. When you look at an action plan, it's a runtime instance of the template itself. So if I go back to the previous example of applying for a personal loan, that instance for that specific customer, you are performing a job for that customer by providing an application form, taking in KYC documents, basically ID cards, proof of age, proof of income, requirement, what is whether he is eligible or not, what are his previous lendings that he already has, stuff like that. So all that goes into an action plan. So you generate an action plan from the template of each engagement, of each customer engagement. We can say this as a, like we discussed about a standard object and custom objects where the activities are enabled. A standard object could be, I will tell you what objects are usually used to set up an action plan template. This is just an object model in terms of how an action plan would look like. With the templates, there are different tasks assigned in it, and those tasks go in as each plan, action plan 1, 2, etc. And then each plan, as per the number, they're divided towards each user who is actually going to help that specific customer. Like, for example, if I'm going back to the personal loan example, where a customer walks in, there will be a specific individual who will take in the KYC documents, he will verify them, and he will pass it on to a different department. There will be another individual in that another department who will be actually be checking the CIBIL score of that customer by entering certain details of this customer, like name, contact details, email IDs, the company where he's working, what is he earning, what are his present lendings that he has, and all that goes into a CIBIL score, and the CIBIL score system will give out a go ahead or reasons for not going ahead. And then that specific documentation is passed on to the personal banker, who would be able to check, contact the customer, tell him whether he's eligible for it or not, and help him out with the completion of the application. So action plan is available in these three editions, which is a professional, enterprise, and unlimited editions. In the start, I was talking about this not only available in Financial Services Cloud, but it's also available in other clouds, which is the government cloud with Lightning Scheduler, health cloud, education cloud, public sector solutions, and consumer goods cloud. Okay. Now, this is specifically the almost the last slide, but yeah, now I will be showing you through the demo in terms of how an action plan template and an action plan gets set up into the app, how you provide access to the user for them to be able to create a template then create an action plan, and how it gets connected to the object, and how it would show on the UI. Okay, this is my development org. Hope you guys are able to see this. Here, actually, right now, the action plan templates and action plans are available in the wealth management console. But if you want to create, you can create that on the other consoles in the financial services cloud. Like the other two, which are the most important ones, are the retail banking console and the insurance advisor console, which we would have discussed in the previous session. The initial setup while doing an action plan for or as a user would be to go to the user. We have a few users here. So Ryan Dobson and Sri Lakshmi. We can go to this user. We'll have to set up permission for the action plan to be available for this specific user to create one. So we go to permission set assignments, edit assignments. If you see, that's the first permission available. We have to add this for this specific individual to be in a position to create an action plan into the system. Rob Dobson's profile is a wealth manager. So he would need an assistant as well who should be in a position to create one and pass it on to other task members. So we'll do the same process for Sri Lakshmi, who is a client associate here. You can go here, same steps to be repeated. Click on action plans, add it, and save. Then we have to go to profiles, wherein this permission should be available for this specific profile name, which is an advisor. We can come down to the standard object permissions. If you see the permission, ideally this will not show up here, but I've already done this during my practice session. So you click that as an advisor, they should be available to read, create, edit, view all action plans and templates, and you save the document. So this way you provide permission to the user and as well as a profile for the advisor. And if I have created Sri Lakshmi as a client associate, then for that specific profile also we can create. Like for example here, if you go to Sri Lakshmi, she is showing up as a personal banker. So I can go to the profile of a personal banker and update it so that she should have an ability to create action plans. See this. Okay. The next step would be to ensure the app, the wealth management app. For now, it shows up here, but ideally it will not be showing up by default as an object here. That we'll have to create by going into the app manager and updating that. You can click on edit. This console comes up wherein you can provide the action plan template and action plan objects to show up on the taskbar through the navigation items. You see this? For example, if we want this to show up on the retail banking console or the insurance advisor console, we can do that as well. I'll show you how. So if you see here in the taskbar, you don't have anything for the retail banking console. And in case we would want that to show up, we can go here, edit, navigation items, see this template, we can push it here, action plans, push it and save. So now if you come back to your retail banking console, we'll be able to see those two objects as per the layout. I think that layout has to come up. For both desktop and phone. Save. Now, if we, for example, go into a specific account on retail banking console, which is Rachel, we'll be able to see those action plans. There are already a few plans already set up for my org, which will show up here. Okay. For now, let's go back to the wealth management console. Now we have set up the action plan templates and action plans to show up in the taskbar for the wealth management app. Now, the next step would be to look at what you have to create as per your job criteria as a financial advisor or a wealth manager, what kind of engagements you would have with a customer. I have taken a couple of examples here, which is creating a template for a new to bank customer and a mortgage. Let's look at the new to bank customer. If we can add something here, it would be great. So there are a few tasks that get set up here. If we wish to create, we can do that as well. Wherein, for example, I will say new action plan template. Let me say term policy. Target object would be an account. We can select any specific object as well, where, for example, if we do an opportunity, or do you want it on a financial account or a contact, anything. An action plan template can be set up as per the requirement on whichever object you are going to discuss about. So I am taking it as an account. I will say the name of the template will be term policy. Description would be, I'll just mention take home application, KYC docs, discuss the maturity amount. Yeah, and I save this. Now you would have an opportunity to create tasks based on this template. Once these tasks are set up. Now, this will only happen when you know what exactly is required when a specific customer walks into the bank to apply for a term policy, or if he wants to take up an insurance policy. So as per that, we can create the tasks. So for example, this task would be KYC docs, wherein you would want to take down all the ID documents required from the customer. You can set up the priority, and you have an opportunity to say whether it is required or not, so that it would not allow you to proceed further unless this checkbox is ticked. 1 day is required for this. You have an opportunity to specify which user to be allowed with these tasks based on this and role. What for now I'm putting it as the action plan creator because I'm the one creating it. So I'll save this, get set up here. I can add a new task of discuss why policy, mentioning 2 days. You have a prerequisite. You can select that unless this task is completed, you can't go to the discuss why policy with the customer unless you have taken this. If you don't want that, we can still remove that option as well. Okay, so I save this. Okay, I got it. This should be required. Let me edit this. So these two tasks get assigned. Now, for any individual or a user who's actually looking at this, for them, this is a specific action plan. KYC document would be a specific action plan for that specific engagement with the customer. Discussing the policy could be another action plan for somebody else as a user on this particular org. However, once a template has been created and tasks are assigned, you have to ensure that they get published. Otherwise, this will not show up on the account object for any specific customer that you choose. Once this is done, the only option would be to either edit it or deactivate the template. You don't have an option to delete the templates. Okay, so this is published. We can we can clone templates wherein you don't have to keep repeating the process as well. Okay, now let's go to account, and we'll choose Rachel Adams. We'll say a new plan. She wants to apply for a policy, term policy. You have an option to search. Here you will be able to see which template to be chosen. We can select this. Start date, shall I say the 20th of June? And we do next. These tasks will show up and you create save. Now, if you go back to account and click on Rachel Adams, if you see there, these plans will show up here because we've already set it up on the page layout for the account. So she is planning to take up a savings account. There is a specific deadline set up for that. She is planning to take up a mortgage for which a start date is set up in terms of the discussion. And you will get a notification once this task is assigned to you. Now, there is one more important aspect while discussing the action plan templates and action plan, which is specifically to create users in terms of how you are going to, should I say, assign people, because there should be teams specified for each template and each action plan, wherein you can discuss, and those specific users will be performing those jobs for the customer. I will show that how it is done. You come back to the setup and go to, just type account teams. Here right now, it's enabled already. Ideally, what would happen is when you go to account teams, just a moment. This will be in an enabled state. So when you come here, you want to set up an account team for your org. When you type account teams in setup, you will come through to this specific team, which screen, which says account team setup, and you have to enable here. Click on this and click save. Then it would ask for specific page layouts. Now, each individual in that team can be given access to a specific page layout, whether it is a, because we discussed, if you remember in the previous session, we talked about different groups, a household account record type, then we had personal account type, individual, institution, stuff like that. So for each specific record type, there will be a page layout. So here we can choose which pages to be available for that team member to see. So for now, we'll choose the household, individual. We'll take the policy holder and the retail client individual layout, and we save. Then the next thing that we have to do here is go to team roles. If you see, they're already set up here as a specific roles who would be eligible to work through the account action plan templates and action plans. So here we have the wealth manager and the client associate. We can add a few more roles. If we say standard user, he comes up here. We can remove them as well. For now, there is a wealth manager and a client associate already added up. Rob, in the example that we're seeing, Rob Dawson is the wealth manager and Sri Lakshmi is the client associate. So there is already set up here. There is a facility to do a bulk assignment of this facility of action plan and action plan templates for specific accounts. Now we are talking about one specific account, which is Rachel Adams, but as a bank or a financial institution, you will not have only one customer. There is a possibility that we would have like 30 to 40 customers for each team available. So how do you assign them in as a mass assignment is, you just come back to the setup. You have a mass reassign account teams. Add an account team member, remove an account team member, replacing. You have these facilities. So you add a team member to the account. You click on next, and you would find Rachel Adams. These are all the accounts which are available. We can select if it is only Rachel Adams that you want to add, we can do that. Or if we want this team, Rob Dawson's team, to be able to handle a couple of other accounts, we can add them here. Like I'll say Neil Simons, Nigel Adams, and I'll say next. we have these people who can actually look at it. So I'll say Ryan Dobson, add. So this specific wealth manager will be able to see three different accounts that are assigned under him, and he will be able to reassign the action plan tasks which are there to the users who are working under him. As Sri Lakshmi should be able to see how she can help this Nigel Adams, and somebody else, maybe another user, can be assigned with a different specific account, stuff like that. Okay. This specific page, because it's a developer org, this shows up in this manner. So using these action plans in your org, Ryan as a wealth manager will be able to run his division of wealth management system for their customers like a well-oiled machine. Action plans will keep them on track with the context of their tasks that they need to work on, and serve the clients in a better way. So any customer who walks into the bank will not be in the dark in terms of what is going to happen as a next step. They will be able to tell the customer what will be the next steps involved. The customer will be aware of what details are required for the next meeting, or what will be asked from him in terms of any kind of documentation required, or he will be aware that how much time it could take for any specific request that he has to be fulfilled from the banking end. So any questions?
I have a question, Srini. Why was so in the after the setup was done when you were showcasing that,
Yeah.
it took you to the classic screen or
Yes,
classic
yes,
interface.
yes.
So
That seems to be a limitation with the dev org that I'm working on, because you do have the option to go back to the lightning experience from here. So if I click here,
okay, so
it just,
it looks like a limitation as
yeah,
of now.
yeah, that's right. So if we summarize the session, we discussed about action plans and templates, and how they are set up into the system, and what are the prerequisites for it. Like, you have to ensure that every user has a permission set to be able to work on action plans. Their profiles should be updated with this. How you can bring the action plan onto the Lightning Experience UI, and to start off working on it, we need to ensure that these two account teams and team roles are set up with each account available for an individual to be able to use the action plan templates and action plans in a beneficial way. Any questions, team? Should we proceed further with Kahoot?
Question number one.
I didn't get the question yet. Can't hear the audio of the music. Very fast.
First three questions will be fast. When there is
Okay.
a true or false, I'm giving it just a 10-second timer. That's why.
My mobile internet is fast.
Okay, I'll go to the next question. 6 of us got it, right? What are those ones?
The action plan is used to capture. Maybe give the question and answer
Yeah.
after that. Yeah. Ah,
Roshan, Sriram, and Naveen. Okay. Action plan and templates are extensively used on which app?
very fast, Sriram.
All of them got it right.
Hey, faster than me. 20 points ahead. Sriram is 20 points ahead.
This is like the fastest finger
Hey,
first.
give me 1 minute.
Sorry?
Fastest finger first. Action plan and templates can be set up on standard objects only.
Later.
I think I was faster.
They
You
can be
got
set
3
up
points
on
more than me. I got
custom objects as
949,
well
you
if there are activities enabled on it.
0.03 seconds.
So, Chandra,
Multi-select.
select double pointer. This would have better time.
Yes, I know this. Thinking.
Action plan is available with other clouds.
I was faster.
8 answers.
How many points? I got more.
Health cloud, education cloud, consumer goods cloud. Somebody said private sector.
If you're on earphones, you can actually unmute yourself.
Naveens, come back.
Yeah,
Between Naresh and Raji.
because they only selected one answer. They selected.
I selected 3 correctly.
That's why you got 5,000. See, that's the point. Oh, you're nowhere. Okay, I'm still at least there. You're not even on the spot.
Okay, we have done with 4 questions. Coming to the 5th one. Salesforce action plan is available.
Multi-select. We should have a double point.
Everybody got it right.
Very minimal time.
So Narendra jumped up.
We should have a double point.
Right?
No, it's only multi-select, not double pointer.
Okay, there's a long way. We're only halfway. 5 questions.
Hey, all N and
Only
R.
the first 10 questions will have points.
Or false.
Yes, sir, half.
False. Cannot create renewal opportunities and codes for subscription products.
Choose the best color. What is this? Even
Not at least not even 5 seconds, Srinivas.
seconds.
10,
No,
5.
you only get 5 seconds, I think. But yes, I got it right.
You should be fast and safe and not in trouble.
Even 2
Why
seconds.
am I not? Okay, I'm still in 6th place. Naveen, you can available.
Salesforce CMS is
Yeah,
rated
very
as
easy question. This is clean copy paste. Okay, I'm moving
Last
up.
time what this question has given.
This is a fast question.
7 questions done.
I think we should change it. When we say get one question from past session, it is not to say copy paste the question. It is to use the same concept and get a question, ask a different question. Everybody please make a note. Don't copy paste from the old copy.
7 correct answer.
Okay. I think we'll have to change that EOTO best practices. There we need to update that information.
Yes, that's why Rupesh note that. Yeah. Okay, 3 more questions.
What is the name of the recent edition launched by Salesforce?
What is the tradition?
What?
What is it?
What is it?
Enterprise Java? It's like
New
many
edition.
methods are necessary.
Who are those 2 people?
One is me.
Who is it?
I am one of those. So this morning I saw this in SF days.
Yeah, very good.
Oh, is it? Okay.
This got launched yesterday. This got launched yesterday.
This is unfair, right? Yesterday, anyways, can't say unfair.
This will change.
Sushma
Oh,
came out. 10,000 points. Oh no. Narendra Raji.
Srini, you should have given double points for that question.
Okay.
Because you got right, huh?
Yeah, yes, obviously. No, I was giving correct answers to all the questions, but I was in the 6th and 7th
don't
position.
worry, guys. You got 2 more questions.
Click on next.
Nothing's gonna change. Life is changing. Come on.
Fastest speaker first.
I got it wrong.
Srini, not even 10 seconds.
This was 10 seconds.
This was
But
easy.
this-
Author
This topic is actually like
At least 5 seconds. ఆన్సర్స్ తెలిసినా సరే పెట్టే టైం లేదు అక్కడ.
People who got it right,
Okay.
got it. This is great. Great question.
12 to 24.
12 to 24. Who is that?
I got this right.
Only one person. Who's that? I'm sure it is Roshan only.
No. Yes, I got it right.
This is the best question given, I think so. How
best,
can
yeah.
That's why I given a lot of time.
80, and somewhere 1980 is correct, but what is that? Two options are there, so I am selecting one. Hey,
right.
correct. I have selected.
I am right. We don't have points.
Also,
He's chosen 89. I felt so good, man. Who was that?
No, I know that you are not in 89.
it was me actually.
You are not younger than me, right?
Monday birthday. This is your party.
Yeah, Monday is his birthday.
Hey, uncle.
Hey, lunch simple గా వదిలేస్తున్నా.
Fried rice box ఉంది తినేయండి రా. Naveen, the winner again.